No. All right, guys, so this is the Grove of the Patriarchs. This is one of the largest cedar trees in the state. Not the largest, there's another one, but its location is relatively secret because it's in a place where people could cut it down if they got to it. So, quick correction, the tree I was just referring to is not a cedar, but a Douglas fir. And it's not in an area where people can just go cut it down, but it is in an area that is slightly less protected and more accessible to ne'er-do-wells. Just wanted to make that clarification. That's kind of the deal there, but I'm gonna give you the walk around, just to get the vibe of the size of this tree, the scale. Yeah, look at that. Nice walk around. Check out the nurse log. All these trees growing out of it. This dead log falls to the ground, and even some of its own seedlings or growth from its own cambium layer will grow off of it and continue life on. And that thing falls into the earth, feeds the soil, and bacteria and bugs break it down. Here's another one right here. Another nice little nurse log. And here we come up on another quite large nurse log. Mother Nature doing its deed, keeping things rolling. Here's one of my favorite features right up here. One of the things that's really great is these trees here, as they get older, their roots will start to come down the side. You can see some of them right here. Those roots right there. As they get bigger and the tree gets taller and taller, these roots will just make a big dome over where this log used to be. And so in 100 years, when this log is degraded and gone, there'll be this tree with an arch underneath it and its root systems continuing on. So this hole right here, this hole I got going on, you see right there? What's fascinating about this hole is you see we have a couple of different species of tree up here. We've got, what is this? We got some hemlock here, and hemlock and Doug fir, right? These two different species that are growing around each other out of one area. And so the root mass is just competing and flipping around for each other. And somewhere in time, one of the big brothers, this giant fir, see it stretching off into the back, just broke off of that mass, of that root wad, and tipped right on over. And you can see down here, it took one of the little hemlock brothers right along with it. And the greatest thing to think about is how old, how massively old these trees are. Just how gigantic, like the time scale. These are hundreds and hundreds of trees old. We're gonna hop over and check out a pair of twin trees of Douglas firs that are 1,000 years old. Let's go check it out.
Just get him one of the waters in there.
Yeah, kiddo.
All right, so these are two Douglas firs. They're called the twins, and these trees together are 1,000 years old. And you got to really kind of wrap your mind around that. What was happening 1,000 years ago that these trees were alive for? what dynasty was ruling China, what emperor was in charge of Rome 1,000 years ago, what was happening as these trees were just coming out of the ground. And one of the things to know about them is on the inside they're dead, and even on parts of the outside they're dead, but they're still alive. They're alive and dead at the same time. These are, I call them living nurse logs. You can see just over my shoulder here, there's a huckleberry bush growing right out of the side of the tree. And it's also kind of fun to think, see how it's got that spiral pattern going on the side of it? As these trees grow and they get taller and taller, they try and track the sun across the horizon. And as they track the sun across the horizon, they start to develop this helix pattern up the trunk. And that helps provide a little bit of stability and strength as well when they're in the wind and having to sway back and forth. And just wrapping your mind around this living dead tree that's older than, I don't know, so many things. It's amazing.
Oh, you're shooting one right now?
Yeah. There'll be music to this one. They'll just show. Hey, bud. Okay. Dad's coming. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Hey, boy.
Jake.
Boy, stay.
So this area that we're looking at in here, what's interesting about it is it's actually relatively low compared to the river here. So in the winter, this makes a great wintering over habitat for elk that come down from a little higher. It's relatively warm, and because it's in a flood zone and so close to the river, a lot of this soil is actually kind of soft. And so a lot of these root systems go out because they don't have to go very deep for water, they go out. And sometimes provides less stability to all the trees. So a lot of times you'll find trees that just tip over because they get too tall for the root systems to handle. And whoop, that's actually the one you saw me getting swallowed by, that giant root system. Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for your support. If you enjoyed that and you like what I'm doing here and you want more, click subscribe. Click on that notifications button whenever I send something out, and make sure to check me out over on Patreon. And remember, any of those little contributions, anything you make ends up going a long way over time, and definitely helps me and my family get out there and make more of these videos and show people what nature can be and how to experience it to the fullest. Godspeed.